your familiar voices, Jay and Flakes.
Welcome into the server, folks. This is going to be a huge match. The pistol round is already well and truly on the way, so let's cut into the action. As it is a T-side get themselves a double kill on the site. We do see one go in favor of Impossible as they do just spice in with a singular frag on towards Cancel, but for the most part, it's frags aplenty raining down for this Nekslag lineup. As Lumi and Method both combined, jumping up just another 2 for this T-side as things get better and better as the round unfolds. Cracker, a double kill, trying to bring it back, wants to find this 1 versus 2. But surely not. Surely this round is now going to be locked down by Methods as he falls so close to this angle when he peeks around just around this vent. Picks up another simple frag. Nekslag, a pretty solid round.
Yeah, nicely done from Nekslag. 1-0 immediately out the gate. Found themselves the advantage. It was Cracker that did hold himself his own in a 2K situation, but for him, it was just a numbers game getting to him a little bit too much there. Just couldn't survive it. And of course, Nekslag will take themselves around. And honestly, do you know what, Flakes? My bets are going to be on Nekslag for this matchup here, mainly because they did actually take out Endpoint in the last round. So, you know, we can get into specifics about how about the performance of that particular team. But I mean, as guys from the UK, you know, we know all about Endpoint, and that's probably one of the most standout names for us in this tournament, for me in particular. So, I mean, I got to take my hats off to them for taking out that team.
Yeah, definitely, I can agree with that one. I think Endpoint are a really strong team for them to actually take out. I mean, that's our area of expertise, right? So we really can kind of vouch for it from that point of view. I'm kind of curious to see kind of how these two teams face off, because of course, you know, one thing to discuss is as much as we want to give, you know, teams props for taking down other teams and all these things, you have to remember a pretty big comment that was made by the analyst desk. All of these teams, all 4, only 2 will make it, bear in mind, but all 4 of these teams that will have a crack at trying, they're all mixed teams. There's only one team with any credible really result of kind of playing with some level of structure. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what that brings to the table in terms of strategy in the game in itself. You know, a map like Nuke, for example, you really have to have a clear idea of how you're going to play the map, otherwise you will fall short, you will be taken advantage of. But then that usually comes into play when you're looking at a structured lineup versus a mixed team, not 2 mixed teams butting heads.
Yeah, definitely. It's all going to come down to who's more prepared more than anything else for this first map, Nuke here. And so far, Nekslag have taken themselves the early advantage. Of course, the early game will go towards their favor. They're going to should get themselves out 3 rounds in conversion. Just pistols out for the Impossible lineup here. CZ75 on Cracker has himself also the Kevlar head armor, and he will put it to good use, taking down his first. Second one onto Lumi as well. 3 versus 5 immediately ensues to the favor of the Impossible side. So this force actually might end up working out to their favor. They've still got to do with 3 AKs. Plazino's already watching at one angle, spots out Methods, takes him down with a headshot, drops the bomb as well, and that's perfect information for the CET side of 5 on 2. They've managed to get themselves so much with so little. This is so great from the CET side. Stevie now trying to peek on towards heaven, see what he can find. Takes down Plazino eventually, but he's still got 7 HP to be dealing with. And these pistols, well, it could definitely be doable here.
It's not every day you see someone with a USB and no Kevlar double tap an AK-47 full by player. That's an achievement. Got to give him that. CZ as well, being able to do so much on that site. I still think we could be seeing the round get brought back here, but at the same time, the overwhelming kind of force, just in terms of numbers alone, mean that it's going to be difficult. They have to play so smart right now. It really is going to test them as 2 individuals. And see if they're hitting their shots in itself, right? If they miss even a singular pick, Stevie will fall. He's 7 HP, so one shot in his pretty much anywhere on his body will take him down. There are 30 seconds to play with after all, though. Jovan is playing the elevated angle, just playing up from heaven. Decides to dip down, though, the UMP already chewing up one Kazo. Well, Stevie made the second, in fact, just cutting us down before we even get going. Possible. They do just that. They win the round.
4 players stay alive. A great round for Impossible when they had so little to work with. It was a force buy for all intents because the scouts coming out and the CZ, Kevlar, and Cracker. They made it work so well, and they made it work They made it work. It is the bottom line of it, regardless of how well they made it work. They managed to bring one back against Nekslag, who had themselves 5 AKs out.
I think there's a saying. I think it was Still who said this. Just because they won a round doesn't mean what they did to win the round was smart or any good. I feel like I have to put that in there right now because I still don't justify getting double
at the end of the
taps on a
day,
USB.
at the end of the
was that
day,
as
it's still around in their favor. Good 1D
True.
coming in meanwhile for the T side, but now Jovan's going to try challenging, see if he can take the picks back. Now a 4-on-3 situation will ensue. He's got himself 20 HP, the 8 kill recover from the last round. Doing some good work, but Methods still got that deagle in his hand, looking to try to see if he can close things out. Akimov meanwhile will come round in towards the hut, taking him down to a 2-on-4 situation. Stevie and friend Touche are the last two alive left for the Nekslag side. They've got themselves out an AK at least, recovered off of one of the bodies, I think from Cracker. But still a minute to go, bombs down. I don't know if the CTs have this information, actually. I think they do. Svats, yeah, is actually going to get himself in towards Squeaky, spotting out that angle. So actually the CTs have themselves pretty much locked out here. They've got themselves a decent round. Stevie's going to get spotted out. Oh, it doesn't manage to land the flick shot for the AWP Casino. And Friend Touche will come in and get himself a trade as well as Akimov goes down. So just all on Friend Touche now for the ace clutch at this point. Gets himself the bomb right down, but he's only got 18 HP. So, you know, 35 seconds on the clock. This looks like a round that should go to the favor of Impossible because one shot, one kill, USP, AK, or AWP, whichever one takes it, it should be very likely. And there it is.
That's going to be the case. Jovan just playing up from heaven, pretty much right there in the rafters, takes him down with a smooth little headshot and Impossible. They push him forward, they go 2 for 2, and they start to really double down up against this Nekslag slide. Of course, Nekslag, they are going to be going up with the rifles and the 4x yet again here, playing with that money they picked up in those previous rounds, as well as what's been replenished over the last few in this 5th. And it's going to be a big round because it really decides who comes out on top and who gets that early stint lead. Because not only are we going to be going 2 for 2 here, we can expect now more than likely a 4-2 lead off the back of this 1-by win.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a question of whose favours are going to swing towards. Nekslag are Impossible. They will get themselves out standard angles for the CT side. Cracker holding aggressive from the box, and meanwhile Plazino with the AWP will watch out the rafters and taking down Friend Touche. A great start from his side of things. Still going to be a 4-on-5, so not impossible for Nekslag to come back from this, and they will get themselves some control outside in towards the radio room. Now Akimov going to take that next kill. Methods comes back and takes them back to the trade 4-on-3 situation. Stevie and Co have themselves put towards the A site, and finally he will take down Jovan out towards heaven. And they will try and get themselves on towards the site once the flames do extinguish. Fat coming in from main. Cracker coming in from the back at radio room. Spots out one, takes him down. And now Stevie and Methods, last two alive here for the Nekslag side, trying to hold off the 3 hungry CTs. Moving on through. Methods has a good angle on one towards heaven. There's still 2 more to find out towards radio and out towards main. As main pooks on through. Fat goes down. Cracker goes down as well. Now Method with the AWP, a 3k clutch for him. Spots at the first, takes him down. Has got a kit, so he can hold this defuse if he wants to, but Methods is still going to be one to be dealing with. He's peeking around the corner, and it does get the bomb tapped again. Shoulder peeking, looking for the shots, and Plazino's just going to have to go challenging and try and see if he can take him down. The no-scope doesn't land. Second peek. Good flick. Good God, Plazino. But it's not going to come up short, as Nekslag will still take their 3rd either way.
Can't believe he gets a triple kill on the round. It's so heartbreaking. Plazino not to be able to pick that one up for his team. Tried so hard to really connect the frags required. Well, it is what it is. He has to chalk it up to just an unfortunate situation, move on past it, and at least there is one upside, right? If Nekslag were to drop out of that round, they would have been left with a broken economy. They would have still been left with pretty much nothing really to buy into this round with. Comparison, Impossible, they had a few $1,000s here or there. It was very sparsely spread, which means this buy is still going to be a bit wish-washy in terms of utility, in terms of actually getting the M4A1Ss and stuff up. But they do still get something worth discussing. You know, it is still 3 rifles, 2 M4s, 1 FAMAS, an AWP and a UMP. That's something to be contested, so it's not all doom and gloom. It just means that this round now becomes that little bit extra important, as if they don't add something, well, exciting in, then we start to run the issue of Nekslag going 4 for 2 and 5 for 2 most importantly. So they do get an extra round for their troubles, just have to put in a little bit more of a fight. The secret is going to be taken in a disastrous method. He takes down Cracker with a swift little headshot.
4-on-5 situation now, minute and 10 on the clock. Nekslag going very fast in towards this B site. They've got to be dealing with CTs on the rotations. Fat's going to get nollied away, so they're using the utility pretty smartly just to keep them at bay for a little while longer, stall for time. And Impossible, well, it's not impossible to get themselves a retake, but Stevie's going to make it more so per the kill. Jovan's down 3 versus 5. Plazino comes in, taking down Kadza. still going to have to be dealing with a one-man advantage here before the Nekslag side. And, well, impossible. Several players are falling out already. Akimov going to back off with his FAMAS. And it may just be smart for them to do this. It may be smart for them just to hold back and try not to get taken out. Just try and hold back for exit frags as Plazino is doing. He spots out one. There's Method with a very nice headshot, though. Comes back and turns it into a 2-on-4. So damage done once again to the impossible economy. It was going to be a bit of an awkward buy either way. So taking that AWP out of their hands is going to cost them so much. A great round from Nekslag. Get themselves a 4th. And like you say, a 4-2 lead is exactly what we see. As impossible, well, their economy is going to be a bit broken, and this buy, if they do decide to go for it, is going to be awkward.
Yeah, they're going to try and kind of play a little bit around it, I think. But it's kind of hard to really tell. I feel like they're just really running down the time to make that last-minute clutch decision. And they've got something here. It's not... It's one of those rounds where you look at it and go, okay, these rifles, if they play the right angles, could open up with a kill here and there. But it's so much reliance on these pistols just doing the right thing. And you can see them almost going into playmaker mode where they go aggressive. Problem is, this T side, they seem on point. They seem to know what to do, how to hit their shots. Frenteshay gets a double kill, completely denying any sort of aggression with those rifles. Cuts them down, in fact, leaving it just a CZ, a P250, and a FAMAS. That's a pretty measly buy, especially then when you just lose one of your core weapons as Method just dispatches of Cricket.
And not the kind of round for impossible to win here. 2-on-5 already. Akimov and Yovan. Not much potential either. There is the FAMAS in play, but that's going to get taken down so quickly. They have dropped the bomb, but that's just going to get picked up so quickly again. All on Yovan. 1 versus 4. P250 in hand. Might take a rifle away. Might try and see if we can look for that drop rifle on Stevie, but already Lumi's got the angle locked down. He's watching out for Yovan right there. Knows exactly where he is and sprays him down and then brings the 5th round to the Nekslag side. So for impossible, you know, that was just an awful round for them as a whole. You know, there was not much that was really going for them. No buy-up, no particular strong weapons other than the 2 rifles saved from the last round. So they will, of course, have a buyback in this round, and it will be Kevlar, M4s, a couple of smokes, 3 in particular, a couple of grenades, a flashbang, 2 Molotovs. So very limited buy on the utility side of things. They're going to get themselves out the rifles at least, but that's pretty much all they got going for them versus Nekslag have themselves 4 AKs and AWP. On paper, this one should be another round for the Nekslag side, especially if they're getting shots like that through the smoke. Then, well, you got to kind of wonder how well this impossible side can really be dealing with shots like that from the Ts.
Yovan, walking out with the M4A4, beginning to see, okay, how can I deal with this? What fight do I take? They try and pitch a battle. Oh, a double kill doesn't quite get the triple. Stevie will pull through the other side of things, but not before just another trade comes in. Plazino to take down Frenteshay. Hitting us right in the dirt. 3 for 2. A minute on the clock. Nekslag have a lot of time to work with it. But you can feel them getting antsy as they try and just walk out on towards this B site now. They have the advantage in terms of actually having the site. The smoke goes down, allowing the bomb plant dead set in the middle. Stevie, the man to do the job. But even then, this is going to be a tough one to hold. The AWP goes aggressive. Tries to catch a player off guard. Tries to get an early pick. Doesn't quite happen. The door's open. And just as wide as they swing. Just as simple as they find frags.
Easily done. Good retake for Impossible. They do lose 3 players in the exchange, but either way, it's still going to be a 3rd round on the board for them. And at this point, that's kind of what they want to find. 3-round loss bonus, kind of shut down Nekslag before they can get themselves started here. They have built up a decent economy, so they will be able to buy into this next round. The only person who's going to have some problems is Stevie on just $4,000. But rifles can get dropped from the rest of his teammates who are sitting on 6,000 plus. So you can see the state after the buy-up is going to leave Lumi as the highest man, the highest earner, $3,900 on his side. Impossible also with a forced buy of their own. So yeah, I'm not sure who's worse off in terms of the remaining economy left, but either way, this round is most likely going to be a reset round coming in for both teams. Next leg go down, there's going to be 2 rounds of loss bonus for them. Impossible, well, straight up reset, 1 round for their side. So here we are, in towards the next round. Next leg look to try and set themselves up for something here. They're outside, out towards Radio Room and in towards Shack, but so far, just playing for those early challenges, and no one's going to be buying for the Impossible side, except for, well, one that does go in towards the aggressive angle. Lumi's going to spot him out, but gets smoked away pretty much in time to save his teammates. So, good stuff from Impossible, but a bit too risky if you ask me. That probably could have cost them a little bit more than they bargained for.
Yeah, that very nearly ended up in a frag for Lumi there as well, so it could have been a tough one for them to stomach at least, I think, is to shorten that one down. Things are going to begin to board up out towards his A site now. Friend to show, already starting a shot with the frig on the wall. That come off. Stevie double down on towards Jovan as well. Really starting to make this one harsher and harsher as impossible. Do not seem to be able to hold off this site. They're all stuck in weird positions, not together. As they push through smokes. Friend Touche, just another frag for him. Sivat, what was that? Impossible. Now left yet again. Such a hard situation. Phasmo will get himself an exit frag on towards Friend Touche. But there is no retake here. This one, done and dusted. Locked in to Nekslag.
Yeah, 6-3 is going to be our scoreline for Impossible. That's pretty tragic. Very little economy to start this round off and very little after the bye. So it's not going to be a very pretty round for them next. They will hold and try and look for exit frags, take some economical damage if they can take 2 players down for next. Then they have some chance here, but just like that, as I say, Methods and Lumi come in and take 2 kills of their own, so it will be 6-3 favor of the Nekslag side. Impossible. It is impossible. At this point, it's going to be a very low amount of economy for them. $31.50 at maximum for this CT side. So not a great start for them. Nekslag will have themselves a full buy back on the cards, but Impossible are going to opt for the full eco so they can get themselves out the money in the next round. It should net them a full buy with a little bit of limited economy here and there. So Nekslag know exactly where they are at. They're going to be able to run on through towards the site, taking down kills left, right, and center. It does trade 5 for 2 in the favor of the T side, and just like that, very quickly within 18 seconds, Nekslag get themselves a 7th.
Just a highlight. I know it's against pistols, but I still think it's a fair shout. Lumi's gunplay was actually pretty impressive there. I think he got a spray control down from heaven down on towards the first frag below silo. That's pretty crafty from him, actually. So kind of props to him. I know it's against pistols, as I said, so it's not something that people always look and go, oh, that was pretty good. But, I mean, it shows us what's to come, potentially. And, I mean, one of the reasons why Nekslag are 7-3 up right now on their T side is it's going to come down to aim 2 just going to get these picks.
AWP out for the T side. Kansas just looking for whatever he can find out towards the outside area, but it's not going to happen. Instead, Nekslag will try to get themselves aggressive angles against the CTs, and it's actually going to go towards Impossible's favour as Plazino and Savat come on through, taking down Friend Touche and Lumi as well. Methods also goes falling. Great from last play from Plazino, a 2K for him in the round, and Impossible with his force buy actually might end up making it work. Stevie and Kadza, last 2 alive. And as their teammates fall around them, the aggression does not work for this T side. I think they've dropped the bomb as well. I don't know if Impossible have that particular information, although 4 players rotating in to watch those angles. They may just trying to be locking out the last 2 T side players from any positions in towards sites. So out towards outside, Crackers on the backstab, and this one could just be the play that nets them around, because Nekslag, they have no idea this is coming. They have absolutely no clue. There will be the AWP shot coming on through to take down 1. There will be challenges coming on through. Stevie still takes Yoda now, and there's Cracker coming in the back side for the back stab, taking down Stevie, and it's going to be 3 players staying alive for the 4-7 favour still to Nekslag.
Possible still have a very good chance of making really something competitive out of this half. Bear in mind, you're on that CT side, getting to 4 already. It's still a win-win, but 5, 6, you really start to run the kind of line of caution, I think is the fairest shout. As Nekslag are going to go into this with 5 AK-47s. A very even match buy in comparison to what Impossible do bring to the table. Have a lot of utility too, which I think is going to be the more pertinent point. If they can get those Molotovs and flash grenades in, then they can stop any sort of willy-nilly rushes that Impossible seem to like to employ, especially when they think they're up against pistols, but they're actually up against real weaponry. They still face very confident, though, but they win these fights. Every single time they've been winning a lot of these confidence-based fights. Plazino down towards Frentiche over and long is a prime example of that.
And first pick goes favouring Impossible, and now Nekslag executing on towards A sites. Vat comes through, Methods and Stevie turn back as Plazino gets Methods in a 2-on-3 situation. Cracker still pushing aggressive, trying to set up a backstab, and he might find it onto the bomb carrier as well. Cadder's down. That leaves Stevie alone in a 1 versus 3 with 14 HP. Plazino's watching out the perfect angle to shut him down. He's peeking in towards Hut. He's trying to look out for all the CTs because he knows there's 2 on site, there's 1 on the backstab. This is a very difficult round for him to win right now. To clutch it out would be a 4K clutch, and with 14 HP, it is virtually impossible. He does take down the first, but still, Cracker's coming on through, and so just needs 1 single angle to take 1 single shot. Headshot as well for all things. 5-7, favour of Impossible. Get themselves at least within 2 rounds from the Nekslag lead here. And Nekslag also, with a bit of a broken economy, are also going to have no choice but to eco or quasi or, well, maybe 4. So it looks like it's going to be the Eco with a couple of upgraded pistols. Deagles, P250s, Glock on Stevie. That's all we're going to work with. Impossible. Going to have themselves 2 AKs, a UMP, an AWP, and a Mag 7 on Akimov, who will probably take that out towards a close range in the hut area.
Flash grenade goes out towards long. He's going to be met with an AWP of Plasno. As you mentioned, he's going to be looking for that first pick. Doesn't want to allow himself to get pushed on down by these pistols. With the Mag 7 of Akimov, well, similar story to say. Different way of approaching it though, as he just pumps in towards Loom. He gets himself that first frag by force alone. The rest of this T-side now wondering, well, what do we do now? Well, the answer is we get backstabbed by a Mag 7, of course. As Akimov hops around the place, gets himself just another civet on towards Rafters. And it's just a cherry on top as he finds the head of Stevie, leaving just Method and Kadzor in a 2 versus 5. A minute on the clock. Plazino planning him just another as he pad those stats. The Mag 7 pumping away, looking for the final frag. A triple kill for Akimov.
Lots of money in the bank for Akimov. Such a good position from him. Very ballsy play to push out through that smoke. He basically went past one of the T-side players, and Nekslag just had no idea how to deal with it. As a result, he got himself a 3K. Lots of money in the bank. $2,700 for his economical side. You can see that's going to put him on good stead for his cash. Actually, the most amount of money on his side right there. And then Possible will start to build up their economy a little bit more here. It's not going to be too consequential because we are in round 14, 1 round away from the last round of the half. And so now it will be aggression coming out from Svat, trying to play a little bit more aggressive for the CT side. He should have no reason to do this, but he will try and make it work here. It's going to be the AWP that takes first pick onto Friend to Shay. Kadza goes falling to the AK at close range, a 3-on-5, and Impossible starting to come back into their own here. Minute and 30, early 2 picks. Go to the favour of Impossible, and Nekslag now in a very bad situation. Svat will peek out looking for whatever he can find. But once again, the T's have themselves very good angles, and it's going to be up to Cracker to shut them down as they do push in towards, well, what looks to be a ramp room push here, back towards behind the blue box. And here we go, Method's going to be first man in. Plazino's also got an AWP there to watch out the crosses. Here they come, shoulder peek. Plazino still lands the flick. Now Pick's coming in from Cracker as well, but Stevie's going to be the only man alive as Lumi is down 1 versus 5. Takes the first, 63 HP, looks for his second with the AWP. He's watching the angle. Plazino actually misses, so not that great, but Stevie's still going to have to be dealing with other CTs moving into his position. Akimov pushes on out, gets taken down. So an ace clutch for the man if he can find anything. He's got himself 2 kills already, but time's ticking away. Health isn't well placed for him. This should be a 7th round on the board for Impossible.
Yeah, I think at this point, as much as we love to be the optimists, we love to think that Stevie's got it in him. With 30 seconds left, finding 3 picks, let alone coming up with the game plan to get yourself on towards a site, let alone dealing with the smokes and utility that Impossible will bring to the table. I mean, good luck with that. Every single angle is covered in pretty much just each and every little push is in check. There was just no chance for him, unfortunately. He does get punished and taken down due to the end of things. And Impossible, they equalize 7-7, which, can we just take a moment to recognize that Impossible have gone 7-7 on their CT side? This is huge for them when they go into the second half. If they're any good at their T side at all, even a lesser team in comparison to Nekslag, they still can get the win in this first map.
It's been 4 rounds in a row for Impossible to come back into this case. Nekslag, as a result, are going to be down on their economical advances here. 4 Tech Knights, 1 UMP will be in their favour. They're going to go rushing straight out towards the A site, and just like that, it gets cleaned up by the spray downs of the AKs and M4s now, all on Friend Touche with a UMP in his hand and a Glock in the other. Bombs down, however, the T's have full control. That's been dropped on towards the A site. And a 1 versus 3 situation for the final Nekslag player. He has to go aggressive. He has to try and take this bomb. Otherwise, he has to set up a backstab of some sort, some very smart play. And even that's very unlikely with Cracker watching out from Radio Room and 2 players on the site itself. Lazino and Svat just watching out to whatever they can find here. And it's just going to be very unlikely for them. Minute to go. This should be an 8th round for Impossible, and what you thought was impossible is going to be very doable here. Plazino takes the last, and it will be 8-7. Half favour to the Impossible lineup.
Heartbreaking for Nekslag right now when you look at things on paper, because Nekslag were the team who really pushed for these tactical maps like Nuke. They really wanted to play, you know, maps like Train and all these different things, right? They allowed Impossible to get through Mirage, I think is kind of still part of that. It's probably a little bit more puggier version of the 2 maps in the map pool, but it still is quite tactical based as well in terms of what you could do on it in comparison to like Cash and stuff anyway. But then when you kind of, just to put the nail on the head there, when you look at Nekslag and the fact that they pick Nuke, and then they allow Impossible to get 8 rounds on their CT side, you've kind of got to feel for them because they know right now they are going to be up against a brick wall going to the second half. They should be able to get more there, but they struggled so much. Now it means this pistol round holds a lot of importance because it's impossible to get momentum. You are looking at an Nekslag side that could easily drop out of this series in at least a singular map fashion that could lead to a double down 2-0 if Impossible play their cards right on their map choice. Of course, Mirage.
Yeah, all down to how well this T side is structured, I think, for Impossible. We've seen a little bit of coordination coming out from Nekslag, you know, a bit of tactical play to try and enter in with the blinded vision, but there haven't been anything like that shows any sort of like execution potential for this T side. So, you know, when it comes down to the coordination side, I'm not sure really who wins out in that case. Like I was saying, two mixed teams. Not going to be too many tactics running into this one, but once again, it all comes down to whether Impossible could shut down the Nekslag side. And again, this pistol round is going to be one of those ones that do hold a lot of value in this matchup. So it will be the buy-ups for the pistol round. The defuse kit on Friend Touche will be what he holds smoke out for him as well. Cracker with the utility buy, smoke, flashbang, grenade. Grenade's already going to get used to get himself early aggression in towards Squeaky Door, and it's going to be quick rushes from the Impossible side to get themselves in towards site. Blazino with the first face and first pick, but he gets the second, and now Blazino comes in with a double. Cardzor is going to come around and take down Svat. It's still a 4-on-2 situation as a 1-for-3 trade goes to the favor of the T side. The bomb goes down, and Stevie and Kadzor are the last two to try and set up this retake. Very undoable, very impossible for the lack of a pun right there. Cracker comes through, takes down Stevie, spots at the last, and Kadzor out towards heaven. Well, what can he really do? Not a whole lot from his position. Diffuse kit's not on him, time is running out, all the T's are closing on his position, he will peek out, and Jovan will take the kill to bring Impossible a 9th.
What a round. It was very quick. The triple kill really kind of, although it wasn't from one player in specific, the triple kill in terms of the 3 quick frags they found, so strong. I mean, we talked about there not being a bit of team play there, but for Impossible to actually give them a fair shout and say, you know what, they've done a good job at playing smart CS together. Pistol round's a good example of that, highlighting a few things here and there at least. Now they got to be careful not to be too streaky. You don't want to allow these rifles and such to fall out of their hands. As Nekslag, I'm going to be going to this one with too much. Just these P250s and Kevlar, of course, forcing up in standard fashion. Mac 10 of Cracker should really try and be aggressive here, I think, trying to eat them alive. Plazino tapping away at long range on towards Friend Touche. It's a little bit insulting, but why not go for it as a Molotov goes down as well. And from Sivat's hands, he's just trying to force out those players holding close. It seemed like Impossible doing a good job at just picking up these frags right now. Pretty clean too. Not taking a single point of damage after finding just the first 2 frags in the round.
5-on-3 situation. Unlikely for Nekslag to win it, of course. Pistols versus rifles and the SMG buy-up. Plazino's got himself 1, Jovan's got himself the $600. So now Lumi, Stevie, and Kadzor, last 3 alive for the CT side. To make anything that they can here, do some damage, try to take one of the AK out of the hands of Plazino and try and bring it into their side instead. But Plazino's not going to be a short order. He'll take down Lumi. Well, there goes Falling, and there it is. It's going to be an easy 10th round on the board for Impossible. So, you know, Nekslag not holding the best of CT sides to start things off. And that's going to leave them in a very bad situation when they do eventually get a rifle round on the board in round number 19. Because Impossible are going to put themselves in double digits after that round. 11-7 will be the scoreline, what should be the scoreline of this T-side start. And Nekslag, well, from every round after that, every round that they lose is going to be one closer to map point and the map for the Impossible side. So a little bit of work to do. They have got themselves grenade fire coming on through here. They've got 4 grenades out towards the outside area, but overall there's just not going to be anyone there for the Impossible side to really take the brunt of it. Cracker's going to get taken down at 23 HP, but I think that was more down to the Angels coming in from the pistols, as it will once again be a 1-on-fire for Kadzor. Not much he could have done in that situation. It was just not going to happen right there. 5 rounds, 5 players stay alive for the Impossible side. And it will be 4 rounds, excuse me, is the difference between these two. Rifle round buy-up coming to beat, 4-4s, and a FAMAS for the Nekslag side.
Can Nekslag take this round though? I think what they need to do for a start is stop Impossible from just running riot in these forward trenches. Don't allow them just to push through on towards this A site like no tomorrow, like it's as easy as anything. You can see them trying to make sure that outside is contested, which in fair play to the Impossible are trying to take. Just any 2 players that have a bit of push and shove with is Impossible. They've opted to default out. This is very, very good from them right now, actually, to default. A lot of mixed teams would just go for an all-in push right now on this buy round, right? They would just charge out on towards something like this SB site more than likely. So it's really, really good from them that they've actually gone for a smart team-based play where they default out, they look for that information, and from there, should be a clear-cut round for them, I think. I honestly think they should be able to get these picks. Jovan does start off strong. We do see a trade coming from Friendly, of course, but there's the retrade, or the refrag. See that? The headshot on towards Friendly brings it right back into play with the UMP. It means that Lumi, Method, and Kato now have a really, really tough spot to earn their way out of, because every single little angle is pushed up and aggressive now by Impossible. It means that Nekslag don't have that information either in terms of exactly where they're holding, and it's just easy picks for them.
Easy as pie for them now. 4 versus 2 situation. Nekslag will try and get themselves a little bit down, but it's just a two-man advantage for the Impossible side. Even when they do get the trade on, Lumi's got a lot of work to do in this case. They have got only one player on 100 HP, but well, just like that, they know what comes on through. The flashbangs out. Placino does look away from it and just easily flicks on towards the shots right there. And it will be 12-7 in the favour of the Impossible side. Nekslag, I was going to say Lumi in that last round had himself an opportunity to take down 2 players because they were tagged up pretty hard. But in this case, just not going to happen once again. Just that 100 HP. Just not working towards his favour now. Just Deagles out, 5-7s, flash and smoke, all in all, between all the Nekslag players. No armor of any kind. Not going to be a very pretty round for this CT side. Impossible look to take themselves to 13th and roll on to the next rifle round in round 21. Nekslag, lots of work to do. They're going to start running out of time to do it in.
Few shots come away from these rifles as they do look for some early headshots. Doesn't quite happen. As Cancel with the Deagle begin to let rip, getting himself attacked down towards Civet, I think, with 24 HP, which actually is pretty damn good from that sort of range. But unfortunately, these rifles are just going to line them up in a shooting gallery and tap them away. It's Impossible wash away their problems, get 2 kills for pretty much 0 cost, make that 3, as they will get this round. They go 13-7. Nekslag running out of chances to really make something worthwhile happen in this game. It's their map pick. They want to win this one in this series. It becomes really, really important, especially when you are this mixed team, to get your map pick and be able to trade away in that second. But in this best of 3, it's looking like Impossible are the stronger team right now, as Lumi will at least find the one on towards Placino. But aside from that, you're still looking at a round for Impossible. No real impact to be made. Lumi, only 2 kills. Impossible, they'll replace that.
It's been 10 rounds in a row for the Impossible side. Nekslag have really let them get control of this matchup here. They'll be on a 4-round loss bonus, so rifle buy on the board here. But after this, most likely in eco, 14-7. After that, 15-7. Map point for Impossible. And Nekslag have to find themselves a lot of rounds to get themselves back into contention for an overtime. So, another very crucial round for the CT side to get themselves out. They really need to find themselves their chance in this matchup. AWP's up for both sides. Pizzino's going to take that one for his T side, and there's going to be Kadzor's taking one for CT. Svat, meanwhile, the rifle player's going to get himself in towards the ramp from taking down one. Pizzino with the AWP now going to put it to good work with a 3K. Beautifully done. Shuts down the entire CT force and comes out onto Kadzor as well. A 4K. Easy execution. Who said you need an AK for that? Just use the AWP and quick scope your way to victory. 14-7. Impossible bring themselves within touching distance of map point.
The hardest part to stomach about that is the fact that Nekslag put so much into trying to make that round worthwhile for them. Now their economy is back down to 3.5k, back down to 3,100 in fact, and that just means that they can't do anything in this round. They're back on the pistols. It's going to go 15-7 unless these pistols can really just pull out a miracle, and I don't see it anymore. I think this match might well be done and dusted, at least in the context of the first, as we're going to be going to a second. The Eagles going to be playing for a few elevated angles here and there, looking at least for that early headshot, but Impossible, they've always been so smart with these rounds. They've gone towards outside, they look for the same 1v1s with the same level of distance, meaning that Nekslag don't have that shot.
Another eco for Nekslag here, and they're going to be putting all their faith in the overtime comeback, and they're falling to pieces so far. The Deagles just aren't landing any shots. No damage done for any of the T-side players. But Jovan, how did he not hear the door? I have no idea. Stevie comes in, taking down one, getting a rifle, but now's the time for him to save because he needs that in the next round. He needs to help the Nekslag economy as much as he can because, well, once again, we're down to our last chance here for this CT side. Friendtouche will get one. Stevie's down, so no more rifle for him. Friendtouche gets himself a 2K, but Svart's going to one-up that with a 3K of his own. 15-7, favor of Impossible. And Nekslag now. The 8-round comeback to try and bring themselves back into this one. They've allowed Impossible a total of 12 rounds in a row between the last half and this half. So it's not looking good for this CT side. Now AWP's back in play. Cads are taking one for Issa Plazino for his side. 4 M4s on AKs to back it up with the buy-ups here. As Impossible, well, look to try and close this one out. They're going to go fast play in towards site here. Try and set themselves up for a quick end to this map.
When you got a player like Plaz as well, who's hitting shots on this map, I mean, a fast play could be the way to do it, right? Just make sure you control the tempo. You don't have to go fast 24/7. You can go a little bit faster and slow it right back down and try and do some work. Methods, though, cuts down this push, gets us over double kill. Stevie and Kanto both combine as well. 4 quick frags. Nekslag, they leave Impossible with nothing. Left Lambs to the slaughter as Cracker, the last man standing.
A round that turns around. Nekslag backing with a chance here. Lumi looking out for Cracker. Cracker's got a lot of work to do, obviously, so actually a very good round coming back from Nekslag. It's exactly what they wanted. We said that this round was going to be crucial, and they're going to put all of their favor, or all of their like faith into this comeback here. But they've still got to find themselves 7 more rounds. So very undoable here, very unlikely for Nekslag. We'll see how they manage to pull it off, though. Once again, buybacks coming in for both sides. Impossible with a bit of a built-up economy. Should be able to buy in this round, next round after that, and they should maybe be good for a 3rd buy-up in a row, depending on how much they buy in with the AWPs and such. It's going to be double AWP setup. Single AWP setup for either side. Plazino and Kadza. AKs recover for the TT side, meanwhile, 4 AKs other than that for the Impossible lineup. And there's Kadza starting things off perfectly for Nekslag. Find that first pick, get yourself that man advantage. Opens down, it's a 5-on-4, favor to the CTs.
Zivant looking to bring it all back, will throw the flash, takes the fight. Swats out a player, goes to the repeat, doesn't quite find that headshot either. The angle is going to be changed up as well, which makes his job harder and harder. Stevie refuses to give away his position. He's now got teammate support as well, of course, from the hands of Methods. Nekslag, sure, it's a very abrasive CT side setup, but it may just work out for them. As the smoke is going to go out, the push begins. The pre-fire doesn't really net too much, and the frag actually will just come through. Nice little trade from Blazino to bring it right back into contention as we go 3-for-3. But this B side take, I don't know if I quite see it just yet. You've got 2 players of the CT side up on towards A, which certainly will help. It's going to be, is Cancel's position good enough to actually do anything here? Where is he playing towards?
Well, meanwhile, Plazino with the AWP taking down friend 2, Shay, and Kadza trying to come in from hell, see if he can shut down one of the T-side players. They've got themselves the advantage here, the Impossible lineup. This one could be GG at this point if they can hold off the retake. Indeed, that's exactly what they're going to be doing as Kadza goes falling. Lumi's the last man alive, and there it is. Cracker shuts it down, and it will be 16-8 to the favor of Impossible. Nekslag let them run away with a